I will show you in today's live stream why I believe that the majority of traders in the market is right now absolutely wrong about Bitcoin's next move. And of course, on this Saturday, I will show you so much more what actually is going on here. Let me show it to you. I have prepared again a lot of charts that we're going to go through, and also new altcoin trades that I have personally taken that I will show you where I entered them, why I entered them, and why I believe that they might be not affected by what's coming for Bitcoin. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in here on this Saturday. Almost forgot which day again it is here once more. So we jump directly into the chart here, into the CME Gap chart. So here's something really strange happened yesterday. And what I mean by that is that we created a CME Gap before CME actually closed. But sometimes we have glitches like that on the CME chart. So I'm not really 100% convinced that this will have a huge impact on the CME chart itself, but it could, potentially it could, because we got here a gap from 114,520 to 117,095 and closed CME at 118,235 yesterday. So currently, I look at the Bitcoin price, we are trading slightly below the closing price. So best case scenario, until tomorrow evening, we just chop around here, around that level, and get no CME gap, or like a $20 CME gap that nobody really cares about. And the other scenario would be that we get, actually two other scenarios, that we get either a pump to the upside and open CME up here, which would mean we have then a CME gap in that region, or that we actually start the pullback, the proper pullback to the downside, and move all the way to $114,000, $110,000, something like that, and have then a CME gap here to the upside. But only if that would occur by tomorrow, which I'm not really convinced about, and I'm going to show you in a moment why. Here on the weekly chart, and we only need to maintain the current level, and we will have a tremendous bullish candle here on the weekly chart. And that being said, if we are closing the candle as it stands here right now, I would expect next week another pump to the upside, because we have for a long time broken above the mid-range of this overall parallel upward sloping channel here. When you look here back, when we were technically the last time above that was in February. In February, there we lost that line as support, and yeah, we're not able to reclaim it since then. And the last time that we actually broke above that, we had a similar situation, what I just described. We closed here above in November, first week of November, and the next candle straight pushed higher. And then we kept pushing until we reached the top side of the channel for, yeah, basically 6 weeks. 6 weeks we were just going up. I don't expect this to repeat now straight away again. There will be a pullback candle on the weekly chart at some point, but I have now seen something, and somebody also reminded me about this, that I have seen this in the past, that the upcoming week might be not the week where we get the pullback candle, and it might be the following week. And I'm going to show you in a moment why I changed my view on that, and have now basically two scenarios that I'm looking at. The one is what I described yesterday, where we actually get the pullback rather sooner than later. The other one is we actually go higher first and then coming down, because there's, the latter is actually something that people are not expecting right now. Now here on this weekly chart, we don't need to talk about this, so let's talk about the daily chart. So here on the daily chart, something else that makes me believe that we are going potentially higher first is that if we can close here today's daily candle above this extended golden ratio, the 1.618, that also here we get a continuation candle to the upside. So, and because everybody is expecting right now a pullback, it would leave a lot of people sidelined with money that they would have normally added now to the trades in anticipation of a move into higher levels. That are now then not in this trade, you know, continuing going higher, or not allocated with as much money as they would have liked to be, you know. So, and for that reason, I'm watching closely what's going to happen today with today's daily close here. If we are closing above the golden ratio, I will also add to my Bitcoin longs and also open some short-term new longs for a quick scalp, because I still believe around 120, 123,000, something like that, might be the end of that first impulsive move here before we get a pullback and then continue higher. But only if we close above that level. Otherwise, nothing has changed on my plan. I laid out yesterday that we're gonna see something like this and then go here back in a new all-time high. On the daily chart here with the Bollinger Bands, also still a warning sign for me that we potentially go first down before we go up, is that we are still trading outside the Bollinger Band. And this, like I said, is never lasting really long. That can go on for another day or two, but I think then it's over. You know, another day or two, then we have to come back into the Bollinger Band. So, but that being said, that could mean that we are first pumping here higher and going completely far away from the Bollinger Band, but then also come really quickly back here lower. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Okay, just had to answer quick something. Sorry for that. Yeah, so every time when we go out of the Bollinger Bands, we also drop really quickly back into them. Like I said, maybe another day or two, we can stay out of them, and that includes today. So that means tomorrow we have to get that move. If we don't get that move, expect that we go down first. Here on the 1 hourly chart, maybe you can see already why I'm saying that we could potentially go up first before we go lower. And that is for the simple fact that we consolidating here quite heavily and holding $117,500 as really strong support. And here also the MACD is already losing sell side momentum to push the price lower. The stochastic was pointing to the upside until a moment ago. And okay, now the RSI is also pointing to the downside. So, but we just opened that candle. So here in the next 15 minutes, that can easily turn around and try to break here higher one more time. Because just before I started the stream, that was actually the case here. And now it over the last couple of minutes turned around, which is okay. So here, another potential clue that we are first going higher before we move lower is that we have here on the 15 minutes chart a really, really huge ascending triangle. So if this ascending triangle breaks to the upside, and it has to do it soon, in the next 2 hours, in my opinion, next 2 to 3 hours. Let's see here. Oh, can I go on still for so long? Okay, not 2 to 3 hours. Worst case, another 5.5 hours. That can, yeah, another 5.5 hours if it's not breaking before to the downside. The target would be roughly $120,000. Again, if we would actually reach that target, from there I expect definitely a bigger rejection to the downside, for the simple fact that this is again a super round number, and you know the drill already if you watch a little bit the channel. When we get to psychological round numbers, that's usually where we get rejections and really, really volatile reactions of these levels. So with volatile, I mean something like this potentially in one single candle, in like a 30-minute candle. That was something that I would expect from a level like that. Something else that's also pretty concerning for a continuation move that I want to point out here is that we have on the 4-hourly chart currently a bearish divergence that has not played out yet. And for that bearish divergence to be invalidated, we need to break above $118,000, again, $300 right now. And this is a moving target. So the longer this takes and the longer we are staying afloat here, the higher that line will eventually move. But also this here has to happen quickly, that we break through this. Otherwise, it is the ladder and we go to the downside. The same with the bearish divergence. So if we keep getting rejected from this downward sloping trend line, and then also here, chances are increasing that the RSI will just do that, and the price will do the same and just do that, and comes here into the regions that I mentioned. So now, how would I trade this if you would like to take a short here? So first of all, it's risky. You are potentially looking at 3 to 5% on a spot move that you can't leverage. So, but how would I trade this? I would go, and here it's $17,500. Wait that here a 15-minute candle closes below $117,500 and enter from there short, but it will be a quick short, you know. So I would not keep this open forever, and I would target most likely here $113,800. So which is a 3.15% move to the downside. So you have to use a lot of leverage there to actually get some money out of that, you know. So now again the question is, do you want to short in a massive uptrend? Personally, I don't do that. It's way too risky because overall you saw now how quick we can move it to the upside. You know, we could drop really shallow, you know, get a shallow pullback and then start doing this, you know, and now you're in that short. If you did not drop your stop loss to your entry, then you lose actually money, you know. So, and that's what we don't want, or get liquidated, which would be even worse, you know. So it's, you have to decide if you want to take that risk. I rather don't, and rather wait for confirmation that we break here above the bearish divergence and these highs here, and get continuation to the upside to open a new trade, or actually wait for the pullback to completely play out, see where we form a W or a bull flag, you know, a downwards trending bull flag or something, and then enter here at that point, and then trade this again to the upside. So that is for me way less risky than trying to short this. So, but if you want to trade in this volatile market, guys, trade on BloFin. There is still the giveaway going on, where I draw tomorrow 5 people, $500. You only need to sign up there right now, deposit $100, and you will be in that giveaway tomorrow on tomorrow's stream. And the more you trade right now, the more stuff you can actually get there. So all these things that you see here, you will actually get them if you meet here the trading volume conditions, you know. So it's really easy to get here AirPods, a Switch, even an iPhone is easy, you know, that you can just resell then or do whatever you want with that. And as far as I know, you can also just claim the value of that in cash. If you rather want cash, I think that's also possible. If not, I can for sure make that happen for you with my BloFin manager. Again, there's a link in the description for that, and also pinned on top of the chat if you want to sign up there. So take advantage of that. Now, here on this 4-hourly chart, why do I target $114,000, $110,000? Because we have moving averages around these areas. You see here the 20 moving average on the 4-hourly chart is here currently around $114,700. I don't believe that this will hold if we actually would come down here to test this. It will be rather somewhere in between the 50 and the 20, or actually the 50 moving average, and that is at around $112,000 right now. So the higher we go, the higher will also be the pullback price-wise. So let's say we would actually go up to 120, then most likely the 50 moving average will be around $113,000, $114,000, and we will not see $110,000 anytime soon again. And rather gonna see that only at some point when we are at 130, 140,000, and then actually get a really big correction, which would be nothing crazy. You know, we've seen that in bull markets before where Bitcoin pulls back 20-30% in over one single day. You know, so I've seen that in a single day happening in bull markets. You know, so I would be not surprised to see that at some point here. Then on the MDX algo scalp gradients, also here, still cautious. I would be still cautious here, because we have here a take profit signal. We have here another dot plot. Like I said, if this consolidation doesn't lead to a breakout here really soon in the next 24 hours, expect that we are going down first. And then again here, area of interest with a huge buy cluster, $111,500 approximately, all the way down to $110,500. We don't have to go all the way down here. We can get stopped here at 113, 114, and then bounce back here to the upside. Also, the reactor indicator is here contracting. And usually when you get these contractions, while we are going sideways with the price, what happens is you get here another rounding shape, but then you get at the same time here that bearish divergence sign. on top of it. So, and then usually price is immediately reacting to the downside and pulls back. So also here, I wait the next 24 hours for Bitcoin to see what's going to happen here. But that doesn't stop me from having positions open. So let me see here. The next one, liquidation levels. So here, first area now that seems to be quite interesting for market makers to target here on, most likely Monday. Like I said, if it's not happening soon, then by Monday. So here also, these are super late longs now that are coming in. For the same reason that I just mentioned, they see what I see. They see a potential continuation move to the upside. So there were people, oh yeah, that looks like we're getting a continuation. So I open long positions right now. I'm not waiting. This looks like that this is blasting again to the upside, because what they're looking at this here at the consolidation, and they look at this consolidation down here, and they're like, oh, wait a second, that looks pretty similar. So this looks like that this will blast now to the upside. But again, there is a timer on that. So if we are getting over the timer and we did not break out to the upside, then you know where we are going. So then these positions will get liquidated or get stopped out. And then we could start here that move to the downside. Again, the areas of interest here for the liquidity is around all the way down to 111,500. And then here to the top side, 116,800. And that cluster stops at 115,370 approximately. So, but I don't believe that this will be giving us any support here with an immediate bounce back here into new all-time high. We will most likely just take the liquidity, then go a little bit sideways, get a wick to the downside, then we get that bounce. So it would be really surprising to me if that area here would give us enough support to get a straight bounce here back into these higher levels. Now on the 2-weekly chart, we see now that here some liquidity is building up above us, so which is definitely good and could fuel that move that I'm talking about to roughly $119,400 to $120,575. But again, don't ignore what's below us. So here below 115,000, and then all the way down here to $110,000. These are the major areas here from 110 to 112,600. And then from here, 115,200 to 116,700 approximately, where market makers could target a move to the downside. So the altcoin index, let's see where the altcoin index is today. So we are back in Bitcoin season, but not really surprising after the moves that we pulled here over the weekend. I still believe that this will move out of Bitcoin season here above 25 in the coming week and will stay then there for the rest of the run above 25. So you are not too late to build positions. Don't get now, how to say that, confused. That's the word that I was looking for. Don't get confused right now by coins moving 20, 30, 40% over the last couple of days, because I have already seen now a couple of coins that did this while I was going through the charts today. This is still nothing. Okay. Okay. So this is absolutely nothing. You have nothing seen yet. I saw already coins. I saw two coins in the top 100 that did yesterday 100% in a single day, over 100%. And even that is still nothing. We are just at the beginning, so because the dominance is just, the Bitcoin dominance is just starting to break down here, so we just started to break down. So I can show you where this is most likely going to stop, because it usually stops every cycle at the same place, and that is here around 40%. 39.77, 37.73, that is usually where altcoin season stops. So, and you see here, it can go really quickly here from this top, from December 28 in 2020 to May. So 5 months of altcoin season, and then it was over. So we could see something similar right now, but accelerated. So that's actually what I personally believe. I believe it will be way, way faster this time than last time. So I think we have, for for this section of the altcoin season. I think there will be multiple altcoin seasons into next year. I think this part of the altcoin season that we are seeing right now will last for 2-3 months and not longer. 2-3 months, then this altcoin season will be over. But this is more than enough time to make a shit ton of money. So, and why do I say that? Because here, the expansion on the total free market cap is also happening way faster than it did in the past. So we stepped in here $946 billion actually yesterday, all the way up here to 960 roughly. Got rejected from that resistance cluster, not surprising. Remember what I said? I think I said this 2 days ago. I said expect when we get up here into these wicks that are confirming that here's resistance, that we get first a rejection. And if we hold above $926 billion, which we are currently doing, then we're gonna get in the next couple of days following that a move into $1 trillion. So, and that of course will lead to altcoins to explode massively to the upside. Another thing that I wanted to point out here is that I have called it, guys, and now you see that we were right here once again. I told you here the others chart. Every time in June, by the end of June, more or less, or beginning into July, we are hitting the bottom for altcoins here in market cap. And this was, again, happening here as it did in the past. Here on the 16th of June, we put in the low. The next week, we bounce back to the upside. Since then, it's up only, and it will be completely confirmed. Just want to draw that in here before we move into altcoins. You will have complete confirmation when we break above $287 billion here on the others chart. So that will be your confirmation, because then we have that W pattern here breaking out to the upside, and the target is here roughly $409 billion. So almost into the top section of the others chart. So, and there you already can make out that is only the target of the W pattern. I don't believe that this run we're going to stop there. Until the end of the bull run. I don't think that this will be the top, you know, so this time. I think we're going past that by a lot. Potentially $600, $800 billion, something like that is what I'm actually seeing here. So, and then imagine what altcoins will do if we are actually would get this here only on the others chart, you know, so which is excluding the top 10 coins. If you want to trade altcoins, guys, then do this on Bybit. I have currently also trades running on Bybit. I'm going to show them on my phone because I forgot to log in on my Bybit account. So I have to switch also the camera for that. I can show it to you. But in the meantime, if you want to get $30,000 in sign up and deposit bonuses, there is also in the link in the description to sign up on Bybit. You also can get still a Bybit card, guys. I have again on my wallet around here where I have my Bybit card. But just that you see here, I have currently 2 trades running here. Let me see. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There you go. So I have an RV trade running and an Aptos trade. The Aptos trade is actually quite big. I'm gonna show it to you here. So there you see. Look at the margin. $15,000 is in this trade. On the other trade, I have a little bit less in there because I want to build this position. Come on, stupid autofocus here all the time. There you go. See, there's only $550 right now, but I have limit orders to add more to that position if we are actually breaking lower. So, but I wanted to dip my feet here in the water with RV because I see a potential move here for RV to the upside, and I'm going to show you here just in a moment, guys. Let's speak about quick here Ethereum. Ethereum, same thing like with Bitcoin. We see a consolidation on the 4-hourly chart. The moment that we are breaking here above $3,000, we're going to continue to pump here. So we are basically a little bit less than 1% away from that. If we break below $2,920, we are going lower first. You get a really nice potential re-entry here in that green area that I pointed out yesterday, where is also still the highest concentrated area on the VPVR. And otherwise, yeah, most likely we're gonna hit, so if we break higher, then we're gonna hit the overall target of this trade setup that I had given here, I think a week ago was the last time when I gave that trade. Yeah, it must have been a week ago. So then we're gonna hit that target first. Then we get the pullback into the same area most likely. There you can then just re-enter this, and then we trade this into past $4,000 actually. Solana, Solana looks a little bit weaker in my opinion, but still holding on to $162. Worst case scenario still that we come down here to $157, but the indicators are telling me that we are potentially seeing here also a turnaround as long Bitcoin is playing here nice and along. So as long as we still keep pushing sideways or pushing higher for Bitcoin, Solana will most likely also get another breakout, because here on the stochastic RSI, we're about to get a buy signal in a little bit more than 30 minutes. The MACD will bounce off the signal line with the trend line, and the RSI will turn around. So, and here we actually don't have a bearish divergence right now going on. This looks to me more like, there's no divergence, nothing. So yeah, nothing. So the RSI, yeah, most likely will just turn around and we keep pushing higher. You also, know here about the bump and run pattern. I'm still believing that we could see here a pullback to at least $160. That would be the shallowest point that I see that we go back to before we push way higher. But again, if we are breaking here above $168, I would not wait. I would risk it to enter from there and trade the continuation that we are getting, because you're running the risk right now that you get sidelined by the market when we are pushing above these key areas and we just keep going higher. So imagine we go to $180 before we are pulling back significantly. And let's say then we come back to current levels, like $163. Okay, if you did not take profit at 180, you round trip. But if we just stop where you entered and bounce from there and then keep pushing higher, you have a really amazing entry right now. So, and for that simple reason, I'm getting ready to enter positions right now rather than getting left behind on the next impulse move. That's why I have one trade also running here right now on compound, on comp. I entered, where did I enter? I entered somewhere here at $48.41, actually here in the top section, because I thought over here that we are breaking it now and keep pushing higher, which we then didn't. Since then, I'm a little bit trapped in this trade, but I'm fine, because overall, I know that this is going to break out here anytime soon. We are forming here a small W pattern. The target that I'm looking at is here $53.54 for that potential bull flag formation that, of course, is now maybe invalidated because we broke here. Maybe that is just a deviation, a small deviation below that to scare people out of their positions. We need to see the next couple of hours here how this is developing. So potentially that was just a move to scare people out of their positions here. On the higher time frames, you see stochastic looks a little bit cooked, but MACD still fine, RSI still going up, hence why we could still keep pushing higher. And then there's so much higher levels that we can target. For comp, for example, here I might hold actually my trade all the way up to 65 and $65.45. Why all the way up there? Because here is again a fair value gap in this candle, and also here in that candle is a fair value gap. So we have almost, we have actually closed it over here. I just see that, but we have not closed this one here. So this one is still there. So that is the reason why I'm targeting this. I only target the lower end of it, not the higher end, because I just want to make sure that I get paid. I'm not here to play the degen, and try to squeeze every single penny out of the market, So I don't need that. I'm at a point in my life where I don't need to do this anymore to try to squeeze everything out. I rather go with the safe option and know that I get my money out and make the money and can move on to other coins that I rotate in this market. So here you actually see my trade. I'm down here $1,300. I have here roughly $17,000 in that trade. I'm absolutely fine with that because look at my liquidation price, $33. I looked at this earlier. We were nowhere really close here to $33. Here, the last time we were close to that was in April. So in April, remember that crazy drop that we had in April? I don't see us doing something like this here anytime soon again. And here you see another reason why $47 and 5, I think, is it? Or 13, $14.13 is also here a key support resistance flip zone from the past. If I just extend here the cursor line, you see it already. See here it was resistance, here it started to turn into support, here it was support, then it started to turn into resistance, then here we had the deviation, now we broke above that resistance, now we just need to hold it. We just need to hold above that and we get straight continuation into higher levels. So let me have a look here. Which chart was that? This one. Okay. So next one, like I just said, I have an Aptos trade running here currently also, because we have here a power of 3 going on. So, and if you don't know what a power of 3 is, I'm going to explain it to you. So you have a downwards trend like this here. Then you have a deviation like this here in yellow. And then you get an expansion phase. So that's just for visual purposes, so that's not highly accurate how I actually will go, but something like this, So, and here, the last high from May here might be the next target for Aptos. So that's why I have there my target for the trade at $6.29.5. So that's what I'm targeting for this trade. So why am I already in this trade? Because we are above this downward sloping trend line. And if you remember what I said yesterday, I like sometimes to take a little bit more risky trades. You should not always do what I do, but I like to do that sometimes and not wait for the actual entry of that setup. So I squeeze a little bit more percent out here, which is how much from that trend line? Yeah, so I squeeze out another 7% basically out of a 23% move to the upside. So overall, I will make 30% on that move instead of just 23%. So these are like the small things that I personally like to do. You have to find out if that's something that you want to do, but if you want to play it safe, use the entry that's given here at $5.11.7 and trade this into $6.29.5. So, and something else that I want to mention here in bull runs, I forgot to mention it yesterday, these moves here, 23% move can happen quicker than what you actually think. That was something that that I should have explained better over the last couple of days. In a bull run and in the altcoin season, a 23% move can happen within 24 hours. So it does not mean in one single daily candle you see a 23% move, which can of course happen, but it can happen that you see Aptos moving 12% today, then the daily candle closes, but you saw that like 6 hours before the daily candle closed. So 12% up on one day, and the following day it's up another 11%. There you go. Let's say in the first 12 hours of the following day. Now it's basically 18 hours only that Aptos did the move, but it's 2 different days, on the chart at least. But it's like technically it's like less than 24 hours where you actually got that whole move on the chart. So even if you count it chart day wise, it's like 2 days. 2 days for 23% is crazy, especially if you have like me. How much leverage do I have on there? 5x, 3x. Yeah, sorry, 3x. So, but yeah, with 30%, I look here at 90% of a gain on that single trade that potentially can happen really quickly here, really quickly. So let's talk about some new trades where we could see potential similar moves here. One of them is ALGO. ALGO is also here above that downward sloping trend line, most likely coming up here soon to test the horizontal line at 22 cents and 8. If we get a pullback, let's say we come up here, get rejected because Bitcoin moves down, then here the 0.831 and the 0.5 level on the Fibonacci retracement level, that green zone here is where I think where we're coming back to. So it could be really shallow. There you just step into this here to the 0.382, come straight back up or chop around here and then start to blast off. So that's why layer again, if you want to take the trade that way, layer again your limit orders. And I would here again suggest put in here 50% of the money that you would like to put into this trade. And the rest you keep on the side if we start breaking out first to the upside. So if you get here a 30-minute candle close above 22 cents 8, then most likely we just keep flying into higher levels. And ALGO actually, as you can see, had quite a run already. But because we're consolidating, we could get just another leg like this to the upside. Then AVI. So why did I open a trade on AVI today? basically the same reason. You see here downward sloping trend line, and here target $447. Why $447? Because the last time, when you go over here, in 2021, that was for RV a major resistance level from where we broke down. So we first broke above this, then here resistance, then we broke above it again, then we came down for good and retested this as resistance. And for the last 4 years, we did not retest this. So I believe this time when we break this downward sloping trend line, we are going to go for it. So, and this is a 44.59% move to the upside. So, and this is still not the all-time high, guys. You know, this is just to get back to a resistance level that we have not retested for the last 4 years. You know, so all-time high would be $667.50. So if we go up there, which you most likely are going to do, 60 here, there's a 115% move to the upside. So we definitely going to target a lot of altcoins prior all-time highs and make new ones. So, and that's what I'm looking out for. For example, here, Injective, same thing. Downward sloping trend line, but entering right now would be not the worst idea if we get here above $12.83. If we pull back, then also here the green box would be an area. So let me put it this way. If you enter right now and it turns against you, you can either use that stop loss here, which I personally would not do, but again, I trade more risky. And I would use the green zone here just to add to that position to trade higher. But that also means you cannot go crazy on leverage, you know, because this is a 6% stop loss. So then all the way down is potentially 10%. So you cannot go here like with 10x leverage on a trade like that, unless you put it on cross, which I also don't recommend to do, you know, so that you do something like that. So rather use like 5x leverage. And when we break this downward sloping trend line, that's where you can crank it up, because then you're already far away from your original entry, and then you can crank up leverage a little bit and trade this here higher. Then HNT. HNT is one of the coins that started flying today. Also, already yesterday, this coin was flying. But we need to break $3.14 to get continuation. Otherwise, also rejection. Here, green zone. Most likely then the level that we come back to, $2.82 to $2.67 approximately. And just for your information, these green zones, I did not pull them just out of my ass, you know. These are all Fibonacci zones, you know, Fibonacci retracement levels. Always the 0.382 and the 0.5 level are in alignment with that green box here. Hence why these are highly attractive for pullbacks and bounces back to the upside into higher levels. Let's have a look here on Optimism. That's another one that I'm looking at to trade. So, and this will definitely pump here the next time when Ethereum gets a massive move to the upside. Also here, downward sloping trend line is what I'm watching on the 4-hourly chart. When we break here above 72 cents, that will be a pretty safe entry to almost $1 to 95 cents. Here, 31.5% move to the upside. But also here, if I see Bitcoin breaking higher, which potentially is happening soon when I see this here from the angle of my eye, then I might take a risk here once we're breaking above 70 cents more or less. 67 cents, sorry, 67 cents. I might take a risk here and enter this prematurely and trade this to the upside. So I have literally 3 minutes left. Let me see here. So let me see what's going on in the chat. So guys, give me 2 free coins that I can go through quick. That I did not go through yet, and then I will go again. Oh yeah, Render is actually a good one. I think Render is also still heavily undervalued and will go higher. But I need the right chart for this over here. Render. So did here something happen? Oh, whoa. Uh-oh. Already? Oh, wow. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I have already to go. My meeting is already here. I thought they will come later, but they're already here. Sorry, we're gonna do tomorrow render. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money in your portfolio tomorrow.